But La Republique knows that the day they drop their gun or they are forced to drop their gun, because they don't have the argument, it is over for them. Thank you for joining me on Esteemed Television, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustine Nambe. I will start the show by playing this video.
This is all that is left of Tong Village, Tim, Yang, Mfe and several other villages of Yamba North in Nwa subdivision of the Dungamantum division, northwest region of Cameroon. The villages have been reduced to ashes, over 10 villagers killed, others chased away, and their properties taken by armed individuals described by the Member of Parliament for Nwa as armed Fulanis from Nigeria.
People dying as such, and that their houses have been burnt. You saw the images. I should be very concerned because those are the people who sent me to the Parliament. I bet you I don't sleep. There are times that before 3 o'clock, messages are coming in. My people don't have where to live. My people have become refugees. Some have run into Nigeria, and some Nigerian brothers have not been very good to them, and they've sent them back. Described
by the United States Embassy in its press release on March 3rd, 2021 as communal violence, the deadly attack, looting and burning of Yamba villages began in late February 2021. With an almost zero media coverage due to the enclaved nature of Nwa subdivision, administrative authorities of Dungamantum division maintained suspicious silence.
The administration probably is trying to take this time and find out the facts before they come forward to declare what they have sent the military to Tong already. That's one of the moves they've taken.
Even with the military's presence, no arrests have been made weeks into the violence. The Member of Parliament for Nwa fears that the Yamba people might retaliate due to accumulated anger and frustration if the attacks persist.
I want to plead with the state, the powers that be, that something be done for my people to come back. The fact that nobody has been arrested so far, vis-a-vis the lady who was killed in Faye, it makes people skip doubt. I'm afraid my brothers and sisters may not bear this all through.
Concerned about the Nwa issue, the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé called on Cameroonian authorities to conduct a full and impartial investigation and to hold perpetrators accountable.
Okay, this is not the first time I'm getting a report on what happened in Nwa. The first time I read an article on Nwa, the article was saying that that La République du Cameroon's military went to Nigeria and recruited Fulanis, protected them to come and do what you see done to the people of Nwa and the surrounding villages as mentioned on the video. It was managed, it was planned, managed by the troops of La République du Cameroon. This report that we just watched does not change the facts of that case. It doesn't tell me any different, because on this report it says that La République du Cameroon authorities maintain a suspicious silence. A suspicious silence. You know, this is really an international case. These Fulani people are not like those that La République du Cameroon recruited in Womb. They're not like those that La République du Cameroon military recruited in Gabu. These are from a foreign country. They crossed an international borders, came and devastated this whole area, all the villages mentioned. And La République du Cameroon authorities, the local authorities, maintain a suspicious silence. La République du Cameroon authorities in Yaoundé maintain, I don't know how you describe that silence, but it's death silence. Paul Biya did not say anything. Atanganji did not say anything. He's the Minister of Territorial Administration. The Foreign Minister did not say anything. Nobody said anything. It's a foreign attack on the land that they claim is their land, and they cause damage to citizens that they claim are their citizens, which they have authority on and are trying to manage that authority. But like I already mentioned, this is not the first time they've done this. It is what is happening is the frustration of an internationally trained and equipped military that's unable to defeat the people of Ambazonia, on whom they want to impose a foreign and draconian rule. And the people have said no. And they have said, we will not have any discussion with you. What we will do is show you that we have the gun and you don't have the gun. And they have failed. And right now they are, it's just a continuation of committing crimes and violations, and make themselves look more and more ridiculous, not only to Ambazonians, but to the rest of the world. Now, you heard about the American Embassy's response. And the American Embassy said that they want a full and impartial investigation and to hold the perpetrators accountable. I like the call from the American Embassy. They want some accountability here. And I hope that the Americans, since they made this call, I hope that they will stay on it and report back to us what the findings are and what the consequences will be. Because like I said, this is an international crime against an innocent, sleepy village or villages in Nwa. But this is not, let me say, this attack in Nwa is really full circle after the declaration of war in November of 2017, where Paul Biya said the same thing. What Paul Biya advised or ordered his duo in Manthe to do is say, we want all the villages, he named all the villages, he wanted the villagers to evacuate.
I would like to read this communique, which was issued from the SDO's office on the first day of December 2017, and the communique reads, the Senior Divisional Officer from Manu communicates for the attention of the populations resident in the undermentioned villages, Akwaya Subdivision, Bodam, Dadi, Kesham, Baji, Abonado, Beteme, Ebinsi, and Bakem villages in a Mojok Subdivision O2, Sanaragati, Nsanakang, Agbokem Jeman, Ndwap, and Esagem in Mamfe Subdivision, Egbeko village, to relocate to safer neighborhoods of their choices in the hours that follow, failure of which they will be treated as accomplices or perpetrators of ongoing criminal occurrences registered on security and defense forces. Businessmen and persons plowing the Manu River are equally advised to immediately suspend their activities till further notice. On a related note, the Senior Divisional Officer officially cautions motorbike riders to strictly observe without provocation the suspension of their circulation from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily.
And then what they did was they went and burned those villages.
That have just been burned by Cameroon, La République military. The houses are all damaged and properties and monies. All the peoples of the houses are now homeless. We don't know what they will do. And there are about 7 corps here in Bole also that have been shot by La République soldiers. So we don't know whether this is the solution of our Anglophone problem.
They really born in Abi on Thursday, they born everywhere. So we come from one strand, we don't know where to go. Most of us who get inside bush, we don't know side or if we go now. I don't know how the Cameroon will help you on how, because we'll be stranded inside bush, we don't know what to do.
It's the same thing that just happened here. They went and invited the Fulanis in Nigeria. They came and burned all the villages in Nwa. So that's just a full circle. After 3 years, they're supposed to have gained some maturity in their war. I mean, they came in as a superior force, right? But they're still doing the elementary things that they did on day one. After 3 years. So there's nothing new here. I really want to know what the American Embassy finds and who is accountable. because the people who are accountable already voiced, they already said that this is what they would do.
To relocate to safer neighborhoods of their choices in the hours that follow, failure of which they will be treated as accomplices or perpetrators of ongoing criminal occurrences registered on security and defense forces.
And they did it in Nwa, they've done it in 500 other villages. So what is happening is ongoing. So I don't know. I don't know if the call for investigation is just a standard call, or anybody expects any new information out of this. I don't know. But like I said, we'd like to hear the results of that investigation. And you know, when La République du Cameroon do all these things, they think they are showing force. They think they are playing smart. It's the dumbest thing that they can do, that any military should do. Are the people of Nwa, do the people of Nwa or the villages around Nwa ever one day to go and be part of La République du Cameroon? Absolutely not. Even if they were, if you listen to their parliamentarian, it looks like he's a pan-Cameroonese parliamentarian. He tries to excuse the military as possible, but he knows what's going on. And I can tell you, right now he's fighting for his stomach, but he knows where his heart is, and he knows what he wants to be the future of Nwa. And that future has nothing to do with La République du Cameroon and the French. You know, the most frustrating thing, like I said, what they're doing is not what a smart military would do. But the most frustrating thing is that most of the people who are paying for this are the villagers who work really hard to build their homes, buy zinc. You know, the per capita income in that place is less than $1,000. And so by the time a villager builds his home and then goes and buy the aluminum corrugated sheets and put on there, it takes a lot of time and it takes money. They travel through very dangerous roads to go and do these things. And then you build your home, establish your subsistence living, and then somebody leaves Yaoundé, instructed from France, in collaboration with a lot of international partners who are signing trade deals left and right, totally oblivious about the people who live in that place and and how they're treated. And then they come and and destroy the lives of human beings with the kind of destruction you just saw. Because those people are totally innocent. But the people they are fighting, I'll show you what they're doing instead.
Put your hands up, make me the I'm alive today, my life in a testimony. Baba God, I will give you the praises. Baba God, if not for you, child, I'm gonna die.
While they are gnashing their teeth after 3 years of violence and nobody is succumbing to that violence, and then they're trashing around, killing women, children, burning homes and devastating whole villages, the people they are looking for and who they are chasing after, they don't have they are not internationally trained. They don't have mighty weapons of war. But what they have is a fight not in the weapon, but in their hearts. And that is what La République is struggling to defeat with a man-made weapon. Thibault Nash really did not help the people of Ambazonia very well. In fact, he did not give them any relief. But one thing he did, he told La République du Cameroon that you do not shoot an idea out of the people's head. So negotiate with these people. But La République knows that the day they drop their gun or they are forced to drop their gun, because they don't have the argument, it is over for them. And that time is coming faster than they expected. I'm going to play to you some voices, which are voices of a nightmare for La République du Cameroon. And I want to play these voices because, Ambazonians are not in this fight. Ambazonians are not in this fight to stage a blitzkrieg against La République du Cameroon. No, they are not there Ambazonians are not trying to defeat La République du Cameroon the way the Allies defeated Nazi Germany during the Second World War. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. La République du Cameroon and the French did not fight a war to come and take over the land and the resources of Ambazonia that they're loaning all around the world. They were beneficiaries. And they were beneficiaries because the international community, the British and the UN, were those who took the land and the resources of Ambazonia and handed to La République du Cameroon. All Ambazonians are showing is that they reject what the international community did. It was voted at the UN that Ambazonia should be independent. The 76B, which is the international law on properties or on territories like Ambazonia, say lead the people to their independence or to self-government. The people of Ambazonia have none of those today. And so the people of Ambazonia are not trying to do anything but tell the people of La République and the French that we tried to make a life with you, you rejected us, you call us Baminda, you call us Biafrans, you call us enemies in the house. I don't know what house you're talking about. You called us a lot of names. You refuse to see reason, and you refuse to see value in us. You did not want to have any partnerships. So the Ambazonian people, after 50-something years, said, enough is enough. And so you are losing that benefit that the UN and the British gave to you. And all we are trying to do is say, we are not going to be a benefit to you anymore. We are not going to be your housemates anymore. Our ports will not lay dormant while we're broke. Our resources will not be exploited without our consent. And so we are done with you. And one part of our strategy is saying we will prevent you from exploiting our territory and from exploiting our people, but we want the international community to come back and fix what they spoiled. They need to come back and be part of the solution, just as they were part of putting us in this problem. That's basically what we are doing. If La République du Cameroon thinks that we're trying to defeat them militarily, no. But you will never exploit our resources again, and you never roam our territory again as though you own it or as though we are in any partnership. We are not in partnership. We are not. You refuse partnership from us. And so right now, what we want you to do is just leave. If you don't leave, you'll be forced to. You'll be forced to. One way or the other. And if you want to follow your French partners that said this will become that, the situation will be decided in Yaoundé. No, it will not be. The colonization of Ambazonia did not start in Yaoundé. In fact, Yaoundé rejected Ambazonia. And the French rejected Ambazonia. It is the British and the UN that gave Ambazonia to the French, so it will not be decided in Yaoundé. And if all this rush and all this madness and all these craziness and lashing out is to prevent that from happening, you are not succeeding, because here's what's happening.
The situation in southern Cameroon is indeed deeply concerning. What's happening there to the Anglophone minorities, some 5 million, is terrible. There are numerous human rights abuses. The Francophone president, a corrupt dictator, has been in power since 1982 and is refusing to devolve any power at all to the English-speaking minority. So what will the government now act? Will the Foreign Secretary at the highest level take it up with our French allies? They have enormous influence in Francophone Africa. And will the Minister for Africa do the equivalent of old gunboat diplomacy in our soft power age and himself visit southern Cameroons and take this issue up and try and help our English-speaking friends who we betrayed back in 1962?
There are 60 Cameroonians that are facing deportation on Thursday. One thing that I know President Biden will do will be to have a coherent foreign policy, because you can't address some of these immigration issues without addressing the root causes as to why people make that journey in the first place. I think some of my Republican colleagues think that these people hop on Southwest Airlines and fly to the border and have no sense at all of the incredible journey that they take. The Africans that come here do fly to Ecuador in South America and walk from Ecuador to the border of the United States. And so the Cameroonians, I know that we will begin to address policy in Africa that has been completely ignored for the last 4 years. So the executive actions are absolutely needed, as well as our comprehensive legislation that we will be moving forward shortly, and I'm proud to be a closer.
I certainly will visit Cameroon at the earliest possible opportunity, but can reassure him that we've worked very closely with our French and American partners alongside other partners. We also do an awful lot of work through this House and through the member for Lagan Valley in bringing peace to that region and sharing experiences. So I thank him for his interest and certainly will commit further activity and a visit in due course.
Concerns in Cameroon recently, particularly violence directed at the Anglophone population. So there are a whole series of places where we have challenges where I think the United States can help make a difference, and that starts with being engaged.
Madam Deputy Speaker, just 5 days before the US Senate was attacked, they came together to approve a resolution co-sponsored by 20 senators from both parties, from Marco Rubio to Cory Booker. And it was about this, about the brutal campaign of subjugation by the French-speaking government in Cameroon against the country's English-speaking minority. The Senate resolution condemned with great force the atrocities committed by the Anglophone separatist militias, and it speaks with equal power about the actions of the Cameroon government, including, I quote, torture and sexual abuse, massacres and burnings of villages, use of live ammunition against protesters, arbitrary arrests and unlawful detention, forced disappearance and deaths in custody, attacks on journalists, and the regular killing of civilians, including women, children and the elderly. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Senate resolution noted approvingly that exactly 1 year before, the Office of the US Trade Representative, remember this is Donald Trump's trade representative, the direct counterpart of the Secretary of State for International Trade, had terminated Cameroon's access to preferential trade rights due, I quote, to persistent gross violations of internationally recognised human rights. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, in that same spirit, the Senate resolution urged members of the international community to join the United States in a strategic collective effort to put pressure on the government of Cameroon, including through, I quote, the use of all available diplomatic and punitive tools.
You saw the MP from Britain, and you also saw the executive members speak. I think their language is changing. I think the British are more and more. I think when the British first started out, they started out by almost like, let's ignore this thing, or we know the truth, but we won't say anything. But you begin to hear MPs from the British Parliament speak loud and clear. And you can also hear I can't remember the portfolio of that, of the executive member answering questions, but you heard what he said. You heard what Karen Bass said. When Representative Karen Bass visited Cameroon the first time, I don't think she quite understood what was going on. But she came back and she had good education about what is going on. And like you hear her speak, she has no doubt about what's going on and what the solution will be. You heard the American Secretary of State. So will this thing be decided in Yaoundé? No. Yaoundé had nothing to do with it. Yaoundé was just sitting there, and they brought this big, huge, beautiful gift and throw on your laps, but you did not know how to make use of it, and you lost it. It doesn't matter how much you lash out now. The more you lash out, the more you're only increasing the reparations that you will pay, because this is not going to go in vain. Because there is a consequence. There is a consequence for all these actions. There is a consequence for doing what you are doing in Ambazonia. Because Ambazonians are not something you built. Ambazonia is a land created by God. The humans that you're trashing around are humans created by God. You have nothing to do with their existence. And because you have become a destructive force, there will be a price to pay. There will be a price to pay. And as we're continuing, and you can continue to lash out, thinking that you're going to succeed, here's what the Amber Boys will continue to do until you are out.
Hello, my name is Sister Edita, and we are here at the MAC. We hear daily about what's happening in Cameroon, so we pray for you, people of the southern Cameroon. You are not alone, you are in our prayers. We lift you up to God daily. God bless you.
The nation is united.